What's going on, guys? Dennis here. Hope you are well. I'm here driving home. Thought I'd do a video for you. Bang went out. Work on some other stuff when I get home, but I wanted to include another video here in this series. And at the end of the day, everything comes down to what I'm going to talk about in this particular video. And that's value. Value. The funny thing about value is that it's subjective. Why do I say that? Well, value is essentially meaning. I guess you could use it or say it's synonymous to the word meaning. Now, things have different meanings or different amounts of meaning, if you will, to different people. So if I gave you $10, $10 in the grand scheme of things to you is gonna, while $10 is the same to you and someone else monetarily, it's not, you might not think it's $10 as maybe a lot of money when someone else might think it's a lot. A child might think $10 is a lot of money, or an adult might think it's not that much money. So while the value monetarily is the same, you will perceive things differently based on your own beliefs and experiences and your own resources. So value is a perception, right? But the important thing about value is that it be present. Even though people will look at it differently, it has to be present in order for there to be a transaction or a rational transaction of any sort. Now, value is so important because without you providing value, you won't get back the value that you're looking for. So every transaction involves some type of transition between what you want and what someone else wants. Giving someone else what they want, you get what you want. And this is crucial. This is crucial because what tends to happen most of the time when you're trying to accomplish something, you're looking in every situation for what you can get out of it. What can I get out of this situation? But the interesting thing is, there has to be some level of reciprocity there. So you have to give someone else what they want in order for you to get back what you want. And Jim Rohn said that, right? If you've been into self-development for any time, that's kind of one of the basic things, right? In order to get what you want, you have to give others what they want. And that's how our lives, that's how our reality works. And this is so key here, because once you realize this, then you can start looking at situations as, what can I contribute? What can I bring to the table? What value do I have that would allow me to get what I want? A great place to see how this applies is in corporate America, right? Let's say you're fresh out of college or you're in high school and you have a job, probably a job you're not too fond of, right? A lot of us have started in retail and serving and that sort of stuff. And you start there because that's where your value is at that point in your life, right? You get paid based off of your value. It's not, you don't get paid what you want. You get paid what that position is valued in that company that you work for. That's why as a cashier, you get paid $8-9 an hour, $10 an hour, because that's what that costs, or that's the price of that. That's what that's worth in the marketplace, right? So instead of looking at things as, I want more money, I need more money, I deserve a raise and all that stuff, you can look at a situation as, okay, well, if I want more money, what can I learn? What can I do? What can I invest in that's going to allow me to increase my finances, right? Increase my income. That's how you start looking at situations if you want to progress and scale up and move forward in your life financially. It's so easy to say, I deserve this, or I need this, and I want that. Everybody wants more money, but you don't get what you want. You get what you deserve. You get what you work for. So this is so crucial. Because just because you get older in life does not mean that things are going to change for you. It doesn't mean that things are going to get better because time is passing by. That is unrealistic, and it's an unresponsible way of looking at things. That's why you'll have people that are in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that financially have been in the same position for the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years because they haven't increased their value. They've either gotten too comfortable with where they're at, or they think that, if I just stay in this company, I'll just progress. Or things are going to change in the future, I'll make more money. But without even doing anything different or differently that would allow for any type of change in their finances. So realizing this is super key, because the sooner that you realize this, the sooner you can take control of your own finances and your progress financially. This is the case in corporate America if you're looking for a job, or if you want to open up a business. The first thing you ask yourself is, what value can I provide? If you're going to have customers and you have your own business, okay, well, after you've thought about what you want to sell, how you want to sell, if it's online or if it's a brick and mortar location, employees, and all that other stuff that comes with the business, right? What can I provide? What value can I provide? And a lot of times in that particular case, you're looking at what can you provide that your competition isn't providing, right? So when you're looking at how can I compare and compete with my competition, you're looking at what value that your competitors are providing to those customers, right? Your same customer base, the same audience. So in everything that you do, if you're trying to progress, you look at what can you contribute. It's not enough to want more. It's not enough to ask for more. You have to bring more to the table. So the key here is to provide the most value possible to people. That's how you get your name out. That's how you build credibility. That's how you increase your skill sets, right? That's how you expose yourself. That's how you attract more people, more clients, more customers, more connections, and that sort of thing, by increasing your value. Now, how do you increase your value? There's tons of ways of doing this, right? And not to get off on a tangent, but educating yourself is the biggest way to increase your value. And for most people, education stops after they graduate, and that's how they drop the ball, and that's why they don't progress as far as they want to, right? Because their education has stopped. So just because you went to school doesn't mean everybody should give you what you want. Again, this world runs off of competition, and you have to increase your value to get ahead. So that's something that you should focus on every single day. And I mentioned this in my other video, where you see that I'm talking on a whiteboard. I'm talking about the categories that you should be working on every single day and how you structure your day, right, in your life. When you get out of work, you get home, and you focus in the areas that are important to you, and you increase your value in those areas. So if you're trying to, progress financially in your career, let's say you have a career, you work somewhere you enjoy, you've been working as a professional in that field for a couple of years, the only way that you're going to progress is by increasing your value, which comes from increasing your education. And how do you increase your education? By investing in yourself, right? You take your time and your money and you invest it into trainings and webinars and mentorship and that sort of stuff. That is how you increase your value. Most people don't think about that, or they don't want to use their hard-earned money to invest in books or conferences or trainings and that sort of thing, but they're shooting themselves in the foot, because the best investment in the world is yourself, because you're always going to appreciate rather than depreciate. Value is everything, right? Think about how many services and products that you've purchased that companies will typically start with a trial, right? Here's a 7-day trial, here's a 30-day trial. Why are they doing that? Because they believe that the product that they have, or the service that they have, is so valuable that they can give it to you for 7 days or 30 days for free, and that you'll like it enough to then get hooked on it. But what they're doing is showing you their value for free up front to expose you to what they have, so that you can know about it, and then you can decide whether you want to start paying for that product or service. So value is absolutely everything. That's what people look for when they buy stuff. How much value they're getting in return for their money. They want the most value for the least amount of money that they have to give up as possible. a lot of times when you're trying to think of, how you're going to progress financially, you have to think also in the way that you typically think as a consumer. So as a consumer, you think one way because you're trying to consume something, you're trying to get something. But if you're trying to scale up and increase your income and better your finances, you have to almost think as a producer. Okay, as a consumer, I think this way. This is what I'm looking for as a consumer. Okay? Now, how can I provide that as a producer? And this is key, because then you can think of situations, think of things with different perspectives, and you can think the way that your audience would typically think in that perspective, right? It's a huge line, a huge jump that you have to make from consumer to producer. Once you start thinking in terms of value, right? In terms of value, you're going to look at things differently. Now you're not looking at things where you're trying to save a dollar bill here and there and that sort of stuff like every consumer does. Now you're taking it to a different level, right? And this is absolutely, absolutely critical. There's a lot of power in giving value, especially for free, right? Because that's how you attract people, that's how you expose yourself and your product and your services and that sort of stuff to the world. Most people, they're not looking to do that. They want every hour that they spend in their lives to equal another dollar back, or $2, $3, $5 back. And sometimes it doesn't work that way. But when you look at things in terms of value and investment, then you can see, okay, well, if I give up these hours and if I put in this amount of work, this may come back in the future, right? If you give people value, they're going to come to you. They're going to want to learn from you. They're going to want to buy from you. And value is absolutely everything. There's tons of things that I've purchased, reviews and stuff that I've for products that I've purchased on YouTube and stuff. And you'll find, someone might do trainings or really good reviews and stuff like that. And you'll purchase from them, or you'll purchase a product because they gave so much value. They showed all the features of the stuff, and you're like, okay, this person just sold me. They don't even work for the company, right? They just sold you on it because they gave you so much value. They answered all your questions for free. You didn't pay anything. And they spent their time, recording the video. Maybe they re-recorded it multiple times. Maybe they had to edit the videos and all that stuff. And that's all free value. And you made a buying decision based off of free value, right? And this is crucial because it shows you firsthand. We've all done it, but it shows you the value of value, right? The value of value. And this is absolutely huge. I've noticed, and this is something that I've witnessed firsthand in my own life, how educating yourself, how investing in yourself changes the game. It changes the game because it gives you the unfair advantage. It's unfair to other people, but it's fair for you because you put in the work. The more money that you spend on yourself, the more time you spend educating yourself outside of work, the more you're going to increase your value, the more your bosses and your coworkers, that sort of stuff, they're going to look at you and say, this guy knows a lot of stuff. This guy clearly spends his time and money buying stuff and reading things and learning, right? That's indicative. People that do that, that's very indicative of an ambitious person. Someone that has really good habits, right? Someone who's serious about their craft, who wants to master their field. And that's awesome because you know when you've had conversations with people like that, where you pick them off and say, this person, really learns their stuff, right? They know their stuff. They're putting in work. And that doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by accident. These are people that are investing in themselves so that they get really, really good. And if you're going to get good at anything, you have to invest in yourself. So I talk a lot about business and stuff and entrepreneurship and doing your own thing, but this applies across the board. And there's nothing wrong with having a job, and there's nothing wrong with progressing in your field, right? And I can tell you firsthand that all of my investment and sacrifice, all the money, all the thousands and thousands of hours over the years that I've spent trying to figure things out on my own for different things, that's all information that you put in your head. It's all experience that you build up that no one can take from you. And you go building yourself up, creating a database of experience and knowledge, right, that you can reference later on in conversations and different situations that make you more qualified, to make you more, more valuable, right? And that's how you increase your value in the marketplace, by increasing your own self-worth through educating yourself and investing in yourself. Absolutely critical. The world runs off of value. Our reality, our world as people in a society that we live in, it runs off of value. If you can learn how to give people the most value, right? The most value for the least amount of money, they're always going to come back to you. They're always going to want to know, learn things from you. They're always going to come to you because you're the one that has what they're looking for, right? Why does Walmart make all the money that they do, right? Why does Walmart dominate? Why do they dominate? It's not because they have the best products. It's not because they have the best products or the most healthiest products if you're looking at the food stuff or the highest quality products. It's because people are looking for good products, not the best, but good enough in their own mind, whatever their standard is, for the cheapest amount of money, right? That's what consumers look for. So that's what Walmart does, right? Here's our good products for what you're gonna think is a great price or a good price. That's why Walmart succeeds. That's why they are as big as they are. That's why they're as known as they are. You can see this across everything, right? So once you start looking at that, the key thing to realize is that rather than going into every situation and saying, what can I get out of this? You should start off by what can I give? What can I bring to the table? What can I contribute? Right? Because everyone wants to be around people that contribute, right? You want to be around people that give and add value rather than just take, right? As soon as you know someone just wants to take, you probably stop spending time with them, right? All this person does ask for favors. They just want to, ask for money and blah, blah, blah. They want you to help them all the time, but they never want to provide any service or give back in return. So value is absolutely everything. Once I learned this, it changed the way that I looked at things and my approach to stuff. Because sometimes when you're trying to progress financially, all you're just looking at is what you can get out of every situation or every person. And you want to do the least amount of work and get the most amount of money. And if you're starting off, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. You can't put in 50 cents in the soda machine and get $1 soda. You're not going to do it. The machine is not going to give you that soda. It doesn't matter how much you think you deserve it or how much time and energy you put in. None of that stuff. You have to put in what it takes to get what you want, right? Where there are no deposits, there are no withdrawals. And this is absolutely critical. I learned that a long time ago, and that stayed with me, right? And that's why I make these videos, because I want to give value back and in any way that I possibly can. This is one of the ways that I do that, right? And I have tons of videos that are free and whatnot, and that people enjoy. I do product reviews on different stuff, and I get comments all the time of people they enjoy the videos and it was helpful for them for some issue that they were having and whatnot. But that's value. You're helping people out, and they're gonna buy from you because you're helping them out, right? So this is critical. When you go into a situation, think about, what can I learn? What can I be doing to increase my value, right? If you're trying to progress in your workplace, what are the skill sets that you need to learn? What are the skill sets you need to learn? Okay, I know this and this and this. I could be stronger in this area. If I learned these things, I would be better at my job. Then I could, if I don't like my job, then what you can do is you can leave your job, right? If you don't like your job, you can leave your job for a better job if you're qualified. So what you want to do is get to the point where you are qualified for this stuff, right? You have to work to get out of the situations that you don't like, to put yourself in a position to be in the situations that you're looking for, that are ideal to you, right? Because I remember when I was younger and I was starting off, I had crappy jobs, right? And I hated everything in those jobs, right? That I had to do. The people that I work with, where I work with, the work I was doing, right? But the only way you get yourself out of that is by becoming more valuable, so that you can leave those jobs and do things that pay more, that you actually want to do, right? And the more you learn, the more valuable you become. And the key here is, this is something I don't want to miss. I don't want to forget to mention, is that in your job, the reason why you're hired is because you're bringing them more value than they're giving you, right? It doesn't matter what you get paid. You can be 100% certain that they're making more money off of you and the work that you do, the things that you know, than they're paying you. And the moment that you stop being valuable to your company, they're going to question you and your position, and they may start thinking about letting you go and bringing someone else on board. This is critical, because when you talk about, employment and jobs and stuff, most people understand it because it's easy to relate with. This is critical. And one of the main things that determines, what kind of job you have, whether you get promotions, that sort of thing, is your value. How difficult is it to replace you? That's the biggest key right there. I want you to, if you get anything out of this video, remember that. How difficult is it to replace you? That's what's going to determine how much you get paid, and where you work, with who you work, what kind of work that you do, right? Under what conditions. That's how you get paid more money. By doing things and learning things, knowing things that less people know, right? Because it's more difficult to replace you. And if you're not valuable, you'll get replaced in 2 seconds, right? If you work retail, what happens? Well, your job can be replaced by someone fresh out of high school, right? That's why we want to ask for more money. They're going to laugh in your face, because they could just fire you, right? And then bring on someone that's brand new that wants to work there, that's going to be there for a year, 2 years before they ask for any more money, right? Because what you're doing there is easily learned and done by someone else with very little skill set, right? And that's absolutely critical that you understand that. And that works across the board, right? At work, in a business, right? If you don't provide enough value, then people are going to go to your competitors. That's how it works. Then anything that you're trying to do, and anything that you're trying to do that involves other people, where you're trying to increase your finances and move forward in that particular category, in that area of your life, make sure that you are focusing on increasing your skill sets, your knowledge. It's 10,000 hours to mastery, right? You should always be feeling like you're not a master, like you're not a professional, like you're not a pro, right? You're not an expert, I should say. Like that, you stay on top of things, you keep learning. Take some of that money that you make from work and continue to build up your skill sets. Figure out what you need to learn for you to get better, for you to get paid more, for you to open up your own business, whatever it is, for you to get the skill sets required to get there, for you to make the proper connections. Sometimes you need, specific tools of the trade to get things done, right? If you want to get to a certain point, you might want to start learning those particular things and those uses and things that apply in your particular field, so that you can increase your value that way. Absolutely critical. No one wants to pay someone who doesn't know what they're doing. They want to pay the people that bring them the most value for the least amount of money, that over-deliver, that are detailed and reliable, and get them what they're looking for. All right? The only way you can do that is to increase your value over time. So don't allow time to pass by and not understand this, because you don't get any of that time back. If you go 5 years without knowing this, and 5 years without actually committing to learning more and increasing your value, that's 5 years you're never going to get back that you lost, that you could have had under your belt, that will put you in a different place in your life. All right? You want to master your craft, you want to learn so that you can teach, and so you can do at a higher level. But hope you guys got something out of that. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be sure to comment below. Alright guys, see you in the next video. Bye bye.